The Jewelry Exchange Bethesda.
Good morning, America. Supreme Court showdown. Overnight, Republicans reveal the sex crimes prosecutor they're bringing into question Judge Brett Kavanaugh and his accuser, Dr. Christine Blasey Ford, in front of Congress. As Senate Republicans move to speed up a vote, and now new evidence in question, the images of Kavanaugh's calendar he's trying to use to clear his name. This as President Trump lashes out at the second woman accusing Kavanaugh of sexual misconduct.
This is a con game being played by the Democrats.
Deborah Ramirez's attorney joins us live this morning.
Locked up. Bill Cosby spends his first night behind bars. Sentenced to at least 3 years in prison, taken away in handcuffs. The fall from grace for America's TV dad, now one of his accusers and the prosecutor who put him away, are live on GMA this morning.
Race against time. Hundreds trying to find that missing 6-year-old with special needs. Now his parents pleading to cameras for help. What his father is saying exclusively on GMA about the moment he disappeared.
ABC News exclusive. The mother shot 12 times during a deadly attack at a bank now tells her story.
I have a 5 and a 7-year-old who need their mother. You need to save me. Come get me.
How she survived.
And the biggest boy band on the planet is here live. So get ready, because BTS is taking over Times Square, performing the hit that has everyone dancing. Live only on GMA this morning.
Live in Times Square, this is GMA with Robin Roberts, George Stephanopoulos, and Michael Strahan.
Good morning, America. So what's a little rain when BTS is in Times Square? Take a look outside right now. The crowd has been gathering for hours. They cannot wait for BTS.
They cannot wait. Every mention, every look, they are screaming outside. But BTS, they have fans, millions of fans all around the globe. They call themselves the BTS Army. And we've got a big surprise for a few members of that army, and that's coming up later on in the show.
They are devoted fans. They appreciate their music and their positive message. That is ahead. But first, a lot of news overnight. We begin with that Supreme Court showdown. Both sides gearing up for a dramatic hearing tomorrow. Judge Brett Kavanaugh and his first accuser, Christine Blasey Ford, set to testify. And we've now learned who Republicans are bringing in to question them. Our chief national correspondent, Terry Moran, starts us off at the Supreme Court. Good morning, Terry.
Good morning, Robin. Well, with 1 day to go before that big hearing, both sides are prepping. Judge Kavanaugh is getting prepped by the White House staffers and his own team of lawyers. Dr. Christine Blasey Ford has her team, including veteran Democratic operatives, some of whom prepped Anita Hill. The Republicans have hired that outside lawyer, and President Trump is weighing in, swinging away. With only 24 hours before Judge Brett Kavanaugh and Dr. Christine Blasey Ford face lawmakers and the country, President Trump is fighting for his candidate in classic Trump fashion.
This is a con game being played by the Democrats.
He's lashing out, directly targeting the latest accuser, Kavanaugh's Yale classmate Deborah Ramirez.
She said she was totally inebriated and she was all messed up, and she doesn't know it was him, but it might have been him. Oh, gee, let's not make him a Supreme Court judge because of that.
Ramirez acknowledged to the New Yorker magazine that she was drunk at a 1982 party where she says Kavanaugh exposed himself close to her face. And she says there are gaps in her memory. But now she says she's certain it was Kavanaugh. He denies the charge. Democrats on Capitol Hill calling for an FBI investigation and other witnesses to appear on Thursday.
What this should be is a search for the truth.
Adding to their outrage, word that Republicans on the Senate Judiciary Committee, all of whom are men, outsourced the questioning for Thursday's hearing to a woman outside counsel.
Clearly, they didn't want to ask the questions directly.
The lawyer who will be doing the questioning, veteran Arizona sex crimes prosecutor Rachel Mitchell.
I think it's really smart of them to get outside counsel.
Why?
Somebody will do something that you guys will run 24/7, and inadvertently somebody will do something that's insensitive. I would not be wanting to ask questions about something like this.
The stakes are high for both parties being questioned. Dr. Blasey Ford is now a clinical psychology professor at Palo Alto University and an expert on topics involving trauma. Kavanaugh, a Yale law graduate who clerked for Justice Anthony Kennedy before serving in the Bush administration and as a federal judge. In an attempt to prove he wasn't at that party with Blasey Ford, Kavanaugh's lawyers are releasing excerpts of his high school calendar to the Judiciary Committee, details from the summer of 1982. Obtained by USA Today, they show chores, trips out of town, and social events. Blasey Ford's name isn't mentioned, but she has said she didn't know Kavanaugh well at the time of the alleged encounter. A source close to Kavanaugh says the judge is anticipating more probing questions than those he fielded in his Fox News interview.
Was there ever a time that you drank so much that you couldn't remember what happened the night before?
No, that never happened.
Democrats may ask about Kavanaugh's high school yearbook page, which is filled with inside jokes that suggest a less straight-laced life than he's claimed, including 100 kegs or bust, and Renata alumnus, an alleged reference to a woman Kavanaugh knew in high school. A source tells ABC News she was Kavanaugh's date for a school dance, nothing more. But the New York Times reports that some of Kavanaugh's former classmates said it was part of unsubstantiated boasting about their conquests. That woman telling the Times the insinuation is horrible, hurtful, and simply untrue. Those yearbook entries, along with the recent allegations, portray a vastly different image than what Kavanaugh has publicly shared.
For the last 7 years, I've been coaching girls basketball. Ask the moms.
So those highly detailed calendars that Kavanaugh kept as a teen aren't being entered to show he wasn't at that party. They couldn't really do that, but to show that he wasn't the drunken lout that he's been portrayed as. That's part of his case. Robin?
And we know that more details are emerging about tomorrow's hearing and that Blasey Ford will be the first to testify, Terry?
She will, Robin. She's no time limit for her opening statement. She'll follow opening statements by Senator Grassley and Senator Feinstein, and then she'll be questioned by Rachel Mitchell, that outside veteran sex crimes prosecutor, and by Democrats. And then there'll be a break. Judge Kavanaugh will come, and he'll be questioned by Republicans and Democrats.
A lot of people will be watching, as you know, Terry. Thank you. George?
Okay, thank you, Rob. We're going to talk now to the attorney for Deborah Ramirez, John Clune. He joins us now from Missoula, Montana. Mr. Clune, thank you for joining us this morning. Got to get you first to respond to the president. He says your client has nothing, was all messed up.
Yeah, George, I found that comment by the president to be pretty disgusting and pretty hurtful. I mean, I think everybody can understand why a politician wants to spin what is, bad information, but to do it in that mocking fashion of Ms. Ramirez was really inappropriate.
But I do want to ask you about Deborah Ramirez's testimony. The New York Times reports that Ms. Ramirez contacted some former Yale classmates and told some of them that she couldn't be certain Mr. Kavanaugh was the one who exposed himself. Is that true? And is she now certain it was Mr. Kavanaugh?
Yeah, my understanding is that is true. I haven't spoken with her about that, but I think she is being criticized by some people for being very, very deliberate and very careful about the information that she put out there. And so, she was very mindful of the fact that there was some information that she was confident in, some that she was not confident in, and she only put forward that information to the New Yorker that she was confident actually occurred. And that was the purpose of reaching out to other individuals.
So is she now
believes
certain
wholeheartedly that it was Mr. Kavanaugh, yes.
She's now certain, and that has led to some questions as well. President Trump said, look at the lawyers yesterday, and is suggesting that perhaps you coaxed her and coached her testimony.
Well, I was not the attorney that that was being referenced in the time that she was recalling what had happened. But the person that she did hire is somebody who is a career prosecutor, an expert in sex crimes, knows how to talk with survivors of sexual violence in a way that does not suggest information. He was the Boulder district attorney until just a few months ago. So he's not the kind of individual who would be remotely suggestive to help her craft some sort of story. It was just to help her work through, a very old memory. The
president's press secretary, Sarah Sanders, told me yesterday that the president is open to having Ms. Ramirez testify to the Senate Judiciary Committee. Is she willing to appear in public?
Well, I mean, she hasn't been invited, and this has been one of the really frustrating parts. Is we've been, emailing with the Senate Judiciary Committee. They want a full breakdown of everything that she knows, which is fine, but they're refusing to even talk to us and talk about what any kind of process would look like. So it's a little bit of a moot point until they show any sort of indication that they're willing to have her come forward. I presume that she would, but until they have a conversation with us about it, there's nothing we can do.
Can you clear that up? There appears to be a lot of conflicting stories about what exactly is going on. I talked to members in the Senate. They say they've sent you emails. They've asked you to provide evidence and testimony. You haven't complied with that. I know you said last night you thought you had a phone call set up for 7 p.m., but then the GOP staffers didn't show up on the phone call. Where do things stand exactly right now with the Senate Judiciary Committee?
So that's exactly what happened. Last night we had a phone call scheduled, and we showed up for the phone call. The minority party showed up for the phone call, and the majority party did not show up. And so, you know, at this point, you know, they keep on reiterating that they want more information. We'll be happy to provide them with more information, but why they won't even talk to us on the phone is a mystery.
So you say you're happy to provide them with more information, and is Ms. Ramirez willing to testify, not only if she's invited to the Senate Judiciary Committee, but willing to appear in public and tell her story?
Well, first of all, George, and what she has offered to do, I mean, I think it's very important to underscore that the process in place for the background investigation is to go through the FBI. This is something that has been in place for many years, and why everybody involved in this situation does not want an FBI investigation to this is very disturbing. I mean, this is a complete disaster for everybody involved: Judge Kavanaugh, the president, our client, the American people. And the only way to really get at the truth of what happened is for people to interview all the individuals who were present, all the individuals that were contacted shortly thereafter and heard about it. And without that, it's going to be a failed process, no matter how they do it. But she is willing to talk to the committee, but we need to find out more about what it is they actually are willing to do for her.
John Clune, thanks for your time this morning.
Thanks, George.
Let's bring in our legal team, Chris Christie, Sunny Hassan. And Sunny, let me pick up. You've been saying that the FBI investigation is necessary as well. It appears it's not going to happen before tomorrow's hearing.
That's right, and I think that's sort of the wrong way to go. But I do think that the right way to go is to have a former sex crimes prosecutor, a woman, examining these witnesses. Not only Dr. Ford, but also Judge Kavanaugh, because that person has the type of experience that I have. You know how to deal with alleged victims of sexual assault. You know how to examine them. And so I think that is the right move. But I've never seen a prosecutor, examine a witness without the benefit of an FBI agent or a detective having conducted an investigation.
And Chris, what we've also now seen is that they've now scheduled a potential vote on Friday morning in the committee, floor vote by next Tuesday, depending on how the hearing goes. But picking up on the point from John Clune, wouldn't it help Judge Kavanaugh, if he's going to be Justice Kavanaugh, lifetime appointment, to have a full FBI investigation first?
Well, it's not Judge Kavanaugh's choice, okay? It's not like they're going to him and asking him, would you like one or wouldn't you? That's the choice of the people who are going to have to make this decision and make the vote. And as far as the vote being scheduled, from what I understand from the things Senator Grassley said publicly, he's following regular order. You want 3 days notice for a vote. He gave 3 days notice, but he said very clearly, right? He said very clearly, though, publicly, that if things come out in tomorrow's hearing that makes them unprepared to vote on Friday, then he'll put the vote off. So I think he wants the option to vote on Friday if everyone feels ready, and if they don't, then he'll put it off. I think Senator Grassley has really kind of conducted himself very reasonably in this, tried to make sure, extended deadlines, did all the things he could, while also trying to get this to a conclusion.
I wonder, and this is a quick question for both of you, is there any way to really know at the end of the day, after tomorrow, after we hear from Dr. Blasey Ford, after we hear from Brett Kavanaugh, whether we really know what happened on that day back in 1982?
Well, not with this process, because the process is incomplete. There are other witnesses, alleged witnesses to these incidents. So why isn't Mark Judge testifying? Why aren't other classmates testifying? The record will be completely incomplete, and I think that if he is confirmed, now it's the taint of these allegations.
I think if he's confirmed, there's no taint. You're a justice of the Supreme Court.
No taint?
Nope.
We'll find out. Big hearing tomorrow, and I'll be anchoring our live coverage of the confirmation hearing tomorrow morning. It starts at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific, right here on ABC. Michael?
All right, thank you, George. And President Trump is holding a press conference this evening where he's sure to face questions about Brett Kavanaugh and his accusers, and also questions about that scene at the United Nations where world leaders appear to laugh at something the president said. Cecilia Vega is at the UN this morning with more. Good morning, Cecilia.
Hey, Michael, good rainy morning to you. Let me just set the stage for what happens inside this building here behind me. This is a very serious setting with all of these world leaders gathered. There's rarely even applause, let alone laughter. But when President Trump was out here delivering what essentially is a go-to applause line from his campaign rallies around the country, it did not go well. Just watch.
In less than 2 years, my administration has accomplished more than almost any administration in the history of our country. America's so true. Didn't expect that reaction, but that's okay.
Yeah, well, the president later told reporters that line was meant to elicit laughter. He is back here again today, Michael, for day 3 of the UN. Of course, all eyes on that press conference later this evening. This is just his second solo press conference on U.S. soil, Michael, since taking office.
All right, thank you, Cecilia. Appreciate that. And you say, well, that's not what I expected, but you said you expected a laugh. So it's a little confusing right there.
A little bit.
Yeah,
all right, Michael. Now to the race to find that missing 6-year-old who has special needs. His father is speaking exclusively to GMA about the moment he says his son disappeared at a park in North Carolina. ABC's Steve Osunsami has the latest.
Maddox is my whole world and my reason for living. I want my baby back in my arms.
Maddox Rich, who has autism and is nonverbal, was last seen Saturday wearing this orange T-shirt at this park in Gastonia, North Carolina, east of Charlotte. Police say he was with his father and an unidentified adult when the father says the boy ran off into the woods and couldn't be found. The boy's father, Ian Rich, is speaking exclusively this morning to ABC News.
I wouldn't have let him got so far away from me. I could see him until at a certain point he got out of my view, and that's whenever I never seen him again. Everybody looks at you as a monster, and I've regretted that since the moment it's happened.
There are missing children every day in America, but this child doesn't speak. Searchers on foot have been using loudspeakers and the recorded voices of his parents to try and call for him.
It's been hard to sleep. I feel guilty because I can go into a house, lay down in a bed, and my little boy might be out there in the woods.
The missing boy's mother is begging for help.
Please. Call the tip line, please. I just want my baby home, please.
The search has led FBI agents to this landfill more than 9 miles north of the park. Police have also looked through dumpsters, chased more than 150 leads, and are even draining this lake. Last night, the FBI had the father out here at the park, which is shortly behind me, directly behind me, retracing his steps, trying to see if he can remember anything that helps them. Police say their phones have been ringing. People have been calling in. They've been looking for a photographer and a jogger who may have seen the boy run away. The FBI has set up a $10,000 reward for any information that's helpful. Robin?
Right, Steve, a lot of prayers being said. Thank you. Michael?
All right, thank you, Robin. And now we're going to go to the weather and that dangerous flooding from the south to the northeast. Emergency crews rescuing dozens of kids from a school bus in Connecticut. We're going to go to Ginger for the latest. Good morning, Ginger.
Oh, the images coming in. Michael, good morning. You know, if it felt like it rained all day, it certainly got close in a lot of places. But go to New Jersey. You see the rescue happening there. Just one of the spots that had 7 to 8 inches of rain happened very quickly in the flash flooding there. Severe weather and potentially a tornado in Monroe County, Michigan. And now that line moves east. A lot of folks. I-95 corridor just after the rush hour. Your local weather in 30 seconds. First, the Stormy Cities, sponsored by Dawn.
Call on me, brother, when you need a hand. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. Lean on me. Lean on me.
Foggy morning, afternoon sunshine, and on weather alert for this afternoon. We could see some isolated storms that could bring some high winds in excess of 58 miles per hour to the area, and even some isolated flooding. 85 today, big time temperature drop tomorrow into the 60s with showers throughout the day, especially late in the day for that afternoon and evening rush. And for the Fairfax, celebrates Fairfax, the Kids Fest, 77 on Saturday, 73 on Sunday. Great weekend coming our way. So something to look forward to, at least.
Coming up, Bill Cosby spends his first night in prison after being sentenced for sexual assault. This morning, one of his accusers and one of the prosecutors join us live.
After my DVT blood clot, I wondered, is another one around the corner?